Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am your host of Get Rich 101. I am your host, I'm Sekou Wrights, and let me show you my book because I keep talking about it. I want you all to know this book, Hack Your Pain Now. Hack Your Pain Now. I got a lot of promo in Nashville recently, so check it out. Hack Your Pain Now. All right, so I'm gonna make my announcements really quick because I got a special guest, as you saw from the intro. So let's give her a round of what is it? I'm gonna do a drum roll. A drum roll. Here we go. Hey, hey, hey.
Hello.
Hello. So I would like you to introduce yourself quickly for everybody.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm Dr. Cedrina, also known as Fit Doc. I'm a board certified preventive medicine physician, health and wellness expert, and fitness guru. Through my speaking engagements, wellness products, and signature programs, I empower individuals to optimize their wellness so they can improve their health, transform their lives, and become the best version of themselves.
Wow, that was so good. That was so good. That makes me think I need to write my own thing out so I can do like you do. That was really good. That was really good. So I wanted to say that I started to say this backstage, but I was so impressed by you because this was Demetrius's Shorts event, and it was called Fit to Lead, and he had these college kids assembled, and I was like, 8:30 in the morning. I was like, 8:30 in the morning, it's going to be kind of light. So I came in kind of late, not exactly at 8:30. I came in a little late, but I was expecting when I saw how many kids there were, I was like, oh, they're not gonna be participating. But these kids were raising their hands, they were participating. I was like, whoa, she must have got them hooked, right? Yeah. So tell us a little bit about what you use to get their attention.
I think it's just the way that I speak to them. I really try to connect with people in a way that they'll kind of feel comfortable with me and trust me. So I'm not speaking a bunch of medical jargon at them. I'm talking to them like a normal person. So I
Okay.
think that's part of it, but also when I was asking questions, at first I will say people were a little hesitant to
Yeah.
volunteer to answer.
Yes.
But what I started to do was I just started calling on people. And I told them, I was like, look, I'm just going to call on you guys. I was like, I need y'all to participate, but I'm not going to wait for it. I'm going to just call on you. So
Okay.
as it started going on like that, eventually I think they just started to warm up. And then, they saw other people answering questions. So they then started volunteering to answer questions. And I think that just helped to get the momentum going.
Okay. Here's a question. Do you remember any of the things you asked them to contribute back to you? Ah, back
Mhm.
so sidebar. I forgot to mention to everyone that I am Sekou Wrights and I am a stroke survivor. I'm a stroke survivor, and so sometimes I get excited. When I get excited, my mouth starts doing different things that the brain is doing. So sidebar. That I'll just let y'all know. So anyway, I was asking you, like Cedrina, do you remember any of the catch and release that you did early that morning? You remember any of them?
I do, yeah. It was based on my presentation. So in the beginning, one of the first questions I asked them was, "What is your definition of?" I think I said health or and fitness. I might have asked them both.
Okay.
It's like, "What do you think being fit means? What does that mean to you?" And of course, not surprisingly, a lot of people mention things that have to do with like physical fitness or appearance. So I made the point that fitness is really all encompassing, just like health is. It really involves everything, not
Mm.
just your physical fitness, but your mental fitness, your spiritual fitness, all that.
Oh
So
wow.
that was the point I made. That was one of the questions. Mhm.
Wow. That's good. That's a good one. So here's a picture I took really quickly. I took a picture because I was so fascinated by what you were saying. And you was talking about why create a plan. And I want to tell you that this speech is good for people in my situation. People in my situation, people who have had an interruption. in the way that they're thinking. And I was thinking, I started taking notes, and it was filling me up. Like I'll ask a question. I was like, hey, what's going on here? So I got involved in that. So I want you to tell them what is the creation of a plan. Why a plan is so interesting.
Yeah, so what I discussed towards the end of the presentation was creating a healthy living plan or a healthy lifestyle plan. And I wanted them to learn what the components should be so that they could do that as homework. But really, the purpose of creating that plan is so that they have some type of blueprint to follow in order to improve their health, to improve their lifestyle, to make lifestyle changes and make healthier choices. So I talked about the importance of a plan would be so that you not only have that blueprint, but you can hold yourself accountable, and you can identify the things that you could change and that you feel like you have the power to change in your life. And it just kind of helps keep you more organized and on track to meeting goals. So that's kind of why.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say it again, but it really piqued my interest because of my situation, because my brain doesn't work the way it used to. And so having a plan in everything would be a good idea. And I didn't think about that until I saw you talk. I was like, oh yeah, I should make a plan to do these very things. And so I just wanted to express that to you, that there is some overlay for people who've had sickness or health issues. I think it's a great way to go. Yeah. So that said, you said something very funny about 7 pounds.
Oh,
please,
okay.
Please,
Yeah.
What? I was like, wait a minute. Let me get
Yeah, so as an example, I wanted to show them why it's important to learn to read labels, why it's important to understand more about nutrition, is because the food manufacturers, the companies are going to find ways to market to you so that you will buy their products, right? I mean, that's any company who makes anything needs to market, right, in order to sell. And one of the ways that you can identify like the things that are being or ways you're being targeted is by reading labels, looking at things, and getting more familiar with just nutrition. So the example I presented was one that I actually stumbled upon in I think it was like a gas station store or something. But it was a pack of peanuts.
You already knew?
No, I just was looking.
Okay.
I was looking at them, and I think I might have been about to grab a snack, and it caught my attention because on the package it said protein peanuts. So I had just talked to them about how important it is to eat high protein diets and what's the purpose of having protein in your diet, what all the things that protein does in our body. So me knowing this information, when I saw that packaging, I was like, oh, protein peanuts. So my expectation was this is a peanut product that has some additional protein on it somehow, coated in protein maybe, and increases the amount of protein that you're going to eat. In comparison if you just eat just plain peanuts. So when I read the labels, I noticed that it said that it had 7 grams of protein per serving. Now, when I looked at, I don't remember the serving size now on that package, but I looked at the amount of ounces of whatever peanuts in that package, and then went on my phone and looked up the amount of protein in the same size or same amount of peanuts that's in that package. It was the same 7 grams. So it goes to show you, it's just all marketing, because there's nothing special about that pack of protein peanuts, because it had the same exact amount of protein that you would have consumed if you just ate some regular plain peanuts. So that was
That really got me. That really got me. Because you're talking about a special 7 grams of protein?
Mm-hmm.
7 grams of protein advertised on the package. Like, oh, check out check out us. We got 7 grams of protein. And then to find out, so what did you do? Did you look it up? You Googled?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly. I must have Googled. I mean,
Mm,
there's some things that I kind of know already in my head. I have kind of stored in my brain. Like I know this product has this amount of this. 3 ounces of meat has this amount of protein. There's certain ones I know already. I
right.
don't remember if I knew that one already. I think I might have looked it up because um, you also have to compare to the size. The serving size that
Mm,
was in that package. I had to look up, okay, how much protein is in the same amount serving size of peanuts. So
yeah.
I want to say I Googled it or just looked up the nutrition facts for peanuts and then
But,
compared. Yeah.
but still, but still, to have that same number pop up when that's the number they're advertising was really interesting. It was really
Hmm.
interesting. Yeah. And so there was another one of the things that, that raised my hand was something about vitamin vitamin D, or what's the vitamin that is
Oh,
taken out
that
of our body because of our
melanin.
melatonin,
Melanin. Hmm.
melanin. Yeah, so
Yeah.
run this back. Run this back. Yeah.
So I was saying that vitamin D is a vitamin that we are frequently deficient in. Black
That's
people or
roughly.
with darker skin tones, because of the melanin, it blocks some of the sunlight absorption, and
Mm,
sunlight is needed in order to produce vitamin D in your body. So a lot of times we are deficient in vitamin D. And then if you are carrying excess weight, you're more likely to be deficient as well.
okay.
Um, so it's important to kind of have an idea of what your levels look like and whether or not you need to replace your vitamin D. But
Correct.
we see it on a regular basis that Black people tend to be deficient.
Yeah. I had never heard that before. I had never heard that before. And I was like, wait, because that interesting. I found that very interesting because I've had the assumption that our melanin attracts everything was that we're supposed to attract, like everything that's available out there in the world in the sun gets attracted to by the melanin. I didn't know that melanin was blocking
Yeah,
something that's
that's why our skin usually we age better in terms of the skin quality and texture. We don't wrinkle as fast. Um, we still can, the sun still affects our skin, but just not as badly because of the melanin. Melanin is protective in helping to block some of that sunlight. So it's helpful in some ways,
yeah,
but
ways. Yeah,
not
wow.
ways. But
Yeah. Yeah. So I found your speech very interesting, needless to say, and I wanted to have you back. And I wanted to jog left a little bit because the name of the show is Get Rich 101. So just to be on theme, would you tell us something, your greatest money trick or something like that? Your greatest money trick. Let's go with that.
my greatest money trick
Yeah, or speaks of advice or something
for
money related.
or money related.
Yeah. Mm.
Okay, so one thing that and I'm sure a number of people do this, but this is something that I learned actually from financial advisor, and it's not a huge piece of information that's gonna, but it's helpful. It's something very basic in my
Yep.
opinion, but it's helpful and
Yep.
something I had never really thought of doing until
Okay, that sounds great. This sounds like
advised me.
great.
So this was I started doing this when I first um, got on board with a financial advisor. It's really a team of folks, but the person I was working most closely with had told me when we were just looking at my budget and looking at the debt I had and all that stuff. He was like, okay, listen, we need to create a bills account. Like, you need an account where only your bills are coming out of, and you're setting everything to come out automatically.
Okay.
And that helped me a ton because I didn't have to look at the money leaving the account, right? That was
Yeah.
the
Right.
main account that I use day to day. Because I also
Yeah.
have a spending account. So I have a checking account where I spend my day to day spending comes out of that. Like that's the card that I'm using on a regular basis. But the bills account, I didn't have to look at it. All the things are set up to come out automatically. So I didn't have to feel any type of way, anxiety or whatever as the money is leaving. Because I
Yeah,
didn't see it
that's
leave.
important.
So that was very helpful for me. And we set it up to first I put like a base amount of money in there. And he kind of came up with calculations to make sure that that account always was replenished. And I really have to worry about it. So I
Wow.
put in a certain amount of money up front into the account. And then I set it up with my with payroll so that a certain amount comes out every time I get paid, goes directly into the bills account to keep it, replenished.
Wow.
So literally it does it so I don't have to touch it. I don't have to do anything with it. It's always has money in it. Like it always. And
Right.
it does its thing. All my bills get paid out of there and I don't have to worry about it. And
This,
that was a game changer for me.
yeah, this is amazing. This is amazing. And it was funny because I was just talking about um automaticity, automaticity, automatic,
Automation. Mhm.
automation. Thank you. Automation. Yeah, I was just talking about this, and because I've been noticing this too, and I didn't go as far as opening up a different account. That's a good tip. That's a good tip. Having a separate account, deal with the things that come out, and you just put the money into that account, and then just let yourself relax. Because I have been one of those people that refused to automate. Refused to automate, right? Refused because I was like, I'm gonna need the money. I'm gonna need to check the money, and but I had to do it. I had to do it because of my stroke. Because of my stroke, the things that happen in my head just get trampled on, and so I had to put them on deck. I had to put them on deck. Like I'm gonna pay this one, pay this one, pay this one, and put them on automatic. And now I don't think about it.
Exactly.
And now, like they're paid, and I'm like, how did I have the money to deal with them now? Like it was really interesting to me that it's the same amount of money, but it goes out and feeds itself. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
So
amazing. It was so helpful for me because first of all, it freed up my mind to have to do some other things and not to be worried about, okay, what bill is due this time of the month?
right.
When is this due? Did I pay this? So I just having that automatically just do its thing, that's been really helpful. And for me, I've always had like my relationship with like money has been I've always been good with it, not like someone to build a lot of debt or anything like that. Although there was one time I was struggling a little bit, like right after residency.
Oh, really?
So all the things I had to pay for and I wasn't really getting paid much. But
Yeah. Right.
outside
Right.
of that, I'm not a big, huge spender or anything like that. But not having gives me anxiety. And a number of things growing
Right.
up, not having at times, that
Right.
kind of fuels that type of feeling. So not having gives me anxiety. Owing people gives me anxiety, So by not having to look at the money leaving, it was great for me.
Right.
Just allowing it to just do its thing over there while I just work and like work with my checking account, my spending account, and I just, buy day-to-day things out of there. And that's the only one I'm really looking at on a daily basis. That's really been helpful. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me make sure I got this. So you're saying that you put X amount into this separate account all the time, and you have all your bills signed up to that account to go out automatically, right? Okay. Okay. Yeah, that is interesting having the second account. Guys gotta.
Yeah. So when you first start it, you just have to kind of do some calculations and figure out how much buffer do I need to put in initially, and then how much do I need to put in every time I have money coming in. To figure out how much, so that you don't have to, I don't have to ever, I have those automatic deposits coming in, and that's it. I don't have to do anything else with it. It has plenty to be able to pay bills and way, even after I pay all the bills, it has plenty left. So it's always,
Wow.
it's not being drained. So it
Wow.
does its thing. So to start that type of bills account, you just have to do calculations and figure out what's my buffer. How much do I want as a
That's
buffer?
gotta be scary. That's gotta be scary the first time. The first time, that's gotta be scary though. Like
Yeah, no,
writing
it
out.
was at first, but the good thing is that he did the calculations for
Okay.
me. So he just told me, this is what we need to send over there right now, and then this is what needs to come out of each check. Because he knew how much bills I had coming out every month. Of course, you have to look at how many bills, what the bills are coming out every month. So you have
Okay.
to do some calculations up front and make sure there's enough in there so that it can handle itself and that you're replenishing is the amount that you need to replenish per month or bi-weekly or whatever it is. But once it's set up, it just does it runs itself.
Runs
So
itself. Runs itself like smooth, smooth, smooth. Yeah, that's great. So everybody listening, I hope you're paying attention because this is a good tip. That's a good tip, right? That's a good one. All right, so we've talked about that, and I want to come back to what you given as planned. Like my situation watching you was I got the importance of a plan, but I was thinking, how can I dumb it down so it's like a short thing, like a really short thing that I can make small. Like how? So, what kind of advice can you give to people like me whose mental isn't quite the same as it used to be? You know?
I think so in terms of like lifestyle plans or just any type of plan.
Well, really, any type of plan, really, because I need to be
Yeah.
making a plan for everything, really.
Yeah, so I think it's good initially to first decide what your goals are and actually write those out. Like, what is
Okay.
my goal here? Why am I even creating this plan? What's the goal? So that you can
Okay.
reflect on goals, look at them, and then look at your plan. A lot of times plans change. So they have to be, you have to know that your plan is not going to be just a plan that's going to stay the same the whole time. You're going to change it. It needs to change sometimes to um, according to like whatever's going on in your life. Maybe you had something written down and that just doesn't make sense for you at this time, so you kind of got to tweak it or whatever, or your maybe you don't like something you had on there and you would just want to change it because you tried it and you don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
So know that your plan is going to change, but having those goals there kind of keeps you on the path to kind of just looking at your plan and making sure it's a reflection of those goals. Like,
Okay.
is this plan, does this make sense for the goals that I have? Do I need to change anything? Am I on track to meeting these goals? Like, even looking to see where you are in the process. Like, am I still on track? Okay.
Okay.
So,
And then
mhm.
I set a certain amount of time.
Yes. So when you have a goal, we like to, and I don't know if you've heard of a lot of people have, you've learned in school, maybe SMART goals. Have you heard of SMART
You
goals?
mentioned this. I
Yeah.
saw you. I wanted to talk
Yeah.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So whenever you create a goal, it needs to be a SMART goal. So it can't just be something very broad and vague. It needs to be, so SMART stands for, S stands for specific. So nothing vague. It needs to be a very specific goal.
Okay.
So it's not just, I want to lose weight. I'm giving that as an example. It's, I want to lose a specific number of pounds,
Ah.
be more specific, right?
See, right.
M stands for measurable. So now you need to add to that goal. It would be measurable would be the weight. You can measure weight, right? So if you're going to create a goal, you want to create something that you can measure somehow or figure out a way to measure it. If you say something like, I want to increase the amount of hours I sleep per night. How are you going to measure that? So you need to figure out how you're going to actually measure that. Whatever it is, I want to be, I don't know, give me a goal. What's something that you can, that you have? What's a goal for yourself right
For
now?
me,
Hmm.
wow, really to speak better. Like
Okay.
that's my main goal.
Okay. And you'd have to figure out, how would you measure the improvement in your speech? So would that just be something that you would do yourself, or you would ask other people
I
around you
think
to
I'd
see
have
if
to
you
ask
saw
other people.
improvement?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think I'd have to ask other people.
Yeah. So things like that. That would be like an example. How would you actually measure that?
Okay.
A stands for attainable. So it can't be something that you know you're never going to achieve. Like, I like to use weight loss a lot of times for these types of examples. But something that would be unattainable would be, you would be like, I want to lose 500 pounds. That's excessive. But say you're 400 pounds. I want to lose 200 pounds by next month.
Okay.
That's not,
Yeah,
so why
that's
would
really
your goal? You're not gonna be able to accomplish that. So
right.
You want to make sure they're attainable. And then R would be relevant.
Relevant.
Yeah, relevant or like relevant or realistic, relevant more so. So is it something that or relatable, relevant, realistic? So something that makes sense. Is it relevant to your current lifestyle, like what you need? Is it relevant for you? And then T would be like time based, timely. So it needs to have a time component in there. So you need to give yourself a timeline essentially.
Right.
So if you're talking about weight loss, I want to lose such and such amount of pounds by a certain amount of time. Yeah.
Okay. So back to my desire to speak better, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do I decide if it's relevant or not?
I mean, for you it is, right? It's
Yeah.
something that you struggle with. And
Yeah.
I mean, you could also say the R is realistic. It's realistic because it's something that you could actually do, right? It's a
Okay.
realistic goal for yourself.
Okay.
So, yeah. And then
Okay.
the T would just be whatever time frame you want to give yourself to improve.
All right. So we've done the last two. So let's do the other
Mm-hmm.
SMART. Let's do just run it real quick. So the first thing is what again?
Specific. Specific.
Specific. So I want to have my how do I do that without adding a time limit? Like,
Well, no. So specific could be, so you're saying that you want to improve your speech. Be more specific. What does that mean to you? What does improvement mean?
okay, I want to be able to speak without having so many rewinds.
Got it. Yep. And that's more specific, right?
Okay, yeah.
And improve. That could be a lot of things. So yeah, that would make it specific.
Okay, so and the second one was measurable.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to attract information from people around me.
Yeah, well, measurable, you could actually give a number to it. So how many times do you think you do that during a conversation?
Man, I feel like I do it all the time.
Okay,
That's
so
the way I
for
feel.
your goal, you could say, I don't want to do it more than a certain amount of times.
Okay,
Conversation.
maybe twice, maybe
Okay.
twice,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then what's my next thing?
Is attainable or achievable.
Okay.
And do you feel like that's achievable?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And realistic or relevant or
Those
for you, I think it is. Yeah.
okay. And
And
then
timely or time based. So
time based, I'm gonna say this next month. No, 2 months.
okay.
2 months. Now you don't have to check on me. You
Okay.
have to check on me. I appreciate that. All right. All right. So we ran out of time. I got too busy with the smart thing. We ran out of time.
Okay.
I really want to thank you for being here, for
Thank you for
spreading.
having me.
Yeah, thanks for spreading the information. And yeah, I like to have you online again to see how far I've come. How
Okay.
far I've come with my goal. All right.
That'd be great.
All right. And remember, folks, that now is better than perfect. Now is better than perfect. I'll see you next time. Later.
Okay. Bye.